Hey hookers, Merry Christmas and welcome to Inspired by a Smile. My name is Christy and today I'm going to show you how to make Frosty the penis. So if you have a 4mm hook and some yarn, let's get started. So we're going to start with the shaft. So I've got the white and my hook. I'm going to do a chain of 4 and join it at the end to make the circle. After that, do a chain, and then we're going to crochet over the little piece of yarn as well. So go into the circle and you're going to do 9 half double crochet in total. And if you do crochet over the little piece of yarn, you can pull the hole tight after. And again, 9 half double crochet in total into the circle. While you're doing that, I would like to thank everyone for subscribing so far. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, make sure that you do go and turn on notifications as well. You won't miss any upcoming videos. And I do appreciate everyone for just watching them as well. It's really appreciated. It's why we're here. And to, of course, give you entertaining things to make. And I also would like to thank my patrons as well. If you're interested in signing up, it's $3 a month for tipping me as an artist. And it just helps with what I do. I've got 2 so far, so if you want to sign up, you'd be number 3 and you'll get a baby octopus in the mail that I've made. Not a real one. So that's the beginning of the row, and that's 2 half double crochet in the same stitch. I'm just going to put a stitch marker here, and I don't move mine, so like if you need to move yours, please do. I'm just nuts. So 2 in the same stitch, and you're going to do that all the way around. So 2 half double crochet, same stitch. And again, if you would like to sign up to Patreon, you go check that out. It's actually linked on my YouTube channel and on Facebook, and you can follow me all over the place. And I'll be sending you out a baby octopus almost right away if you do. So again, 2 in the same stitch. Alright, so at the end of this row, you should have all those 2 in the same stitch for that one. So at the beginning of this one, you're going to do 1 half double crochet only in that stitch, and then the next stitch you're going to do 2 in the same stitch. It'll also be the last increase row. And I should mention here, this is also how you're going to make the bottom to put on your penis. So you can stop after you're done making the shaft to make this. But again, this is exactly how you're going to make the bottom, the first row, second row, and third row. 9 in the circle, double or in each stitch for the first or second row, and then 1 2 1 for this row all the way around. Alright guys, so that should be that's your last increase row, and again that's also how you're going to make the bottom for your penis. So this next row is going to be repeated to make the rest of the shaft. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And you're going to repeat that for 11 rows in total. 1 in each stitch. And again, this is going to be the piece for the bottom of your penis. So I'm actually going to keep it since I have it made already, because I have the shaft pre-made. So just skip a stitch over. And you're going to leave a long enough tail to sew into the bottom of the penis after. I'm happy I realized during the tutorial while I was doing this, actually, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to save this for the bottom. So when you're done your 11 rows, you can turn your shaft inside out. And I have that already pre-done. So I can just show you parts to sew on. And see, this will fit nicely on the bottom after. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to make one of the balls. As you can see, one of them is already made and stuffed and sewed on. So chain 4. And then join it at the end with a slip stitch and then do a chain. And again, we're going to crochet over that little piece of yarn. So you're going to do 10 half double crochet into the circle. If you haven't already, guys, you can also go like the video if you would and would like to, if you do like the video. No peer pressure or anything, but it helps keep the video in the algorithm so other people see it too. And it really does help, and I really do appreciate it. You can do it any time during the video. And like I said, also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that. Turn on the notifications because I'm always uploading new stuff. This will probably be my last Christmas one unless someone requests one quickly before Christmas and I want to make it, I might. But this will probably be the last Christmas one, and I do have other fun ones to go with this one. I have a dress up Santa penis that I have on here already. The base penis is on here, and then you make his costumes, but his ghost costume is in the tutorial with him, but that you'll probably want to wait to make now till next year, I'm assuming. So again, that's 10 half double crochet into the circle, and I'm just pulling that little piece of yarn tight. Next row is going to be 2 in the same stitch. So in this beginning stitch, I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in the same stitch and then put a stitch marker. Also, I almost forgot, again, if you would like to do a one-time donation, that's a possibility too. You can send it to me through PayPal or e-transfer. You just have to ask me for those, and I will most likely send you out something for that too, out of appreciation. I actually still have to send something out for my first PayPal donation, so I really do appreciate those as well. I appreciate all my support actually, so whether you donate money or not, I really do appreciate it. So again, this row is 2 half double crochet in the same stitch all the way around. So I'll stop here and let you get to that. Alright, so the next rows are going to be repeated, so this will be quick. This is 1 half double crochet in each stitch. I'm going to just show you the first few stitches here, and then I'll turn off the camera and do the next rows, but you just need 3 the exact same, 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Repeat this for 3 rows before we do a decrease row. Alright, so for this last row, it's actually a decrease row. It makes it a bit easier to sew the ball shut after. So skip a stitch, do a half double crochet, and then a half double crochet in the next stitch, and then you're going to skip the next stitch again and do a half double crochet, and then another half double crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat this until we get to the beginning of the row. Usually it's just overlapping a little bit, and then like I said, it makes the circle nice and closed up a bit too. And then after that, I always turn the piece inside out. So just repeat that all the way around. Alright, so that is at the end of that row. So I'm just going to skip a stitch over and do a slip stitch. You want to leave a long enough tail to sew the balls onto the penis after. So you can take out your stitch marker and then just turn it inside out. And then it's ready for some stuffing. Awesome. And here's the second one. Awesome job so far, guys. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to do the face pieces. So this is going to be a chain 4. And I'm making one of the eyeballs. So join at the end with a slip stitch, then do a chain. And then you're going to do 8 half double crochet into the circle. I'm going to show you just how to make the one eyeball. I already have, as you saw, the face is basically sewn on already. So again, this will be 8 half double crochet into the circle, and I am crocheting over the little piece of yarn again so I can pull it tight. Nobody wants that circle in the middle when you're making an eyeball. Awesome. So just pull that tight, and then you can go into the beginning of the stitch and do a slip stitch, and the eyeball is done. Well, the black part of it anyway. I'm gonna leave a long enough tail to sew that onto the face. I'm not completely done yet either. If you want, you can leave them like this. I mean, it'll still look cute. It's up to you what style you want to go with, but I'm gonna put some white specks onto the eyeball. So you just need a long enough piece of yarn and your sewing needle. And I already knotted it at the end 3 times. So I'm just going to do 2 smaller specks first, which I just go through once each with the needle. So you don't have to go too far over for that after you go through the back. I went through the back originally with the knot. And then just over a little bit, and you can put the needle through and go through again once for another smaller speck. And now for the big one, it's going to go through 3 times on the other side here. So you can hold the eyeball where the 2 smaller specks are, just like this. Go in through the side over here. So through the back first, and then you're going to go over a bit farther with your needle, just like that. And again, I'm going to go through 3 times this time. All through the same holes. Awesome. So now you just flip it over. And I always fasten off behind because you can sew into the back of it. So you can go right into underneath one of the white pieces of yarn even and just sew through a couple times. It'll be nice and secure. And just snip it short enough but not too short, and we're ready to sew that onto the face after. So again, I just made the one. You'll have to make 2 eyeballs here. And there it is. Awesome. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to make one of the 5 little pieces of charcoal I made for the mouth. Or rocks, whatever you want to pretend that they are. So chain 3, since it's a bit smaller. Join at the end with a slip stitch, then do a chain, and then it's just 4 single crochet into the circle, and make sure you crochet over the little piece of yarn so that you can pull it tight when you're done. And again, I made 5 of these in total. If you don't want to do this, you could alternatively just cut a piece of black yarn and just sew it onto the face too, like a little tiny smile. I just decided to do this. I almost used a bunch of my safety eyes too. That's also an idea if you don't want to make these little circles. But this was fun, and they're easy to sew on. Especially if you don't have the safety eyes. I never had those when I first started crocheting, which I think really helped because I make most of my eyes. I'll use the eyes now that I bought them though once in a while, but I still prefer to make my own eyes. It's hard not to when you know how. And they always turn out so nice and unique. So again, 4 single crochet into the circle just like that. Snip it long enough so that you can sew these onto the face after, and you need 5 in total if you want the same amount that I made. And see, I just sewed them all on like this, which I'll show you how to sew that one on after. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to make the nose. It was really easy too and fun. Had to make a carrot nose. So chain 4. I actually messed up when I first started here. If you don't have the stitches in there the right way, it's not just doesn't drape down properly, so I had to fix this, but this part is the same. So I'm chaining 4, joining at the end, did a chain, and I'm just going to do 4 half double crochet into the circle. So again, I think I did it a bit too tight here or something, because when I did it the first time it didn't turn out the way it is right now. So if your stitches are loose enough, it'll go over just a little bit easier. See, I have that gaping hole there, and when I made it the first time I didn't have it, so I'm just ripping it out. Don't be afraid to ever rip out your pieces if you're not satisfied with them too. And again, if you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, turn on notifications, go like the video, follow me at all my other social links. I have fun over there too. I'm basically all over the internet. And if you would like to do Patreon or one-time donations, it's really appreciated too. On Patreon, you can message, or I will message you as soon as I see that I get a new patron. I message them too to thank them. So, and then I get your address at the same time to mail you your free baby, your new friend. Alright, so this is going over a lot better. So now for the next row, I'm going to start with a half double crochet in the first stitch. I'm just going to put a stitch marker. And then 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. And then you want to repeat this for the whole row, which isn't very big. So 1, 2, and then 1 half double crochet. Sorry about that, guys. My son is watching my daughter and she's being silly, making him chase her, which is great. She, of course, had to run in here and invade. I think we're on that last row, and honestly, it is just half double crochet in each stitch. If you need to go back a little, I already did that third row. But it is just after the 1, 2, 1, the third row is just a half double crochet in each stitch, and I do apologize. She's being silly. You could probably even make this nose smaller or bigger if you want to. So I'm just going to go over a stitch and I'm going to do a slip stitch. And make sure you leave a long enough tail to sew it to the face. I'm not going to be turning this inside out. Awesome. So you can just make sure it looks okay also by sticking your finger in there if you need to. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to sew those on quickly and then we can move on to the next piece to make. So we'll start with the eyes. I always tend to sew as I go, especially since I don't stuff my pieces first. Well, not most of them anyway, unless I have to. So just set your eyes on. I don't use pins, so if you need to use pins, put your pieces in place and do it that way, but I don't. I bought some and seriously never have used them. So I'm just gonna go, since it's also not stuffed yet, you can just go in and out like this really easily. Go close enough with the needle though, like between stitches, so that there's no gaps. And just go carefully in and out, don't stab yourself. Also, if I haven't mentioned it yet, I don't think, throughout this tutorial, I do take tutorial requests. So if you ever want to see something made that's not on my channel, please let me know. I would love to hear it. You can just comment on a video or find me. Like I said, I'm all over social media, so you can also find me somewhere and ask there too. But a lot of people just end up messaging me right on my tutorials themselves. So I don't mind that too. And I do end up with some pretty awesome tutorials from you guys, and I appreciate that as well. So just keep going along the edge like that. Finish this eye up. Alright, so now I'm just going to show you how to fasten that off on the inside. So just after you're done, you can turn it right inside out like this. Go behind the eyeball itself and just go in with the needle like that. I always go through twice, so just gotta fix that. There we go. Right through the same hole as well. Awesome. I actually had to fix my eye after. It was a bit too close to the other one. So just make sure that yours are on okay. You won't have that problem though either, because I already have the face pre-put on. So after putting on the last piece, my little rock here, charcoal, whatever, I realized that the eyeball needed to be moved. So I just fixed it afterwards, and it was a lot better. Those though, they were perfect. But as you can see, my eyeball's not over enough. So these I'm going to sew on the exact same way. That's got to just tuck in that stubborn little piece of yarn. Awesome. I really can't wait to get this posted. I do have another tutorial almost ready to go, and it's not Christmas. It's actually been requested by someone, and I'm excited to share it. It's pretty nice. It's easy. It's a wearable, size inclusive. That's about all I'm going to say for now. There's a hint on my channel as well. If you do want to go find it, there's a short you can watch. That's all I'm going to give as a hint though. If you want to go and check it out, you can find it. It's one of my newer shorts on there. So that is sewn on. See, that was nice and quick. Didn't even have to turn off the camera. So again, just sew through the inside behind it twice before you snip. And again, I do end up fixing my eyeball after, because at first I was almost considering leaving it, but after putting the nose on too, I decided it needed to move over. So the nose also, I decided not to stuff it. You could stuff it, I guess, if you wanted to, but it doesn't have to be stuffed, just so you know. So I'm just going to put it right here. Luckily, I ended up putting it in a good spot because I was able to move my eyeball over and it still looked great after. So just line up your nose and you can sew it on. I'm going to do it the exact same way here. Again, if you do have pins, you could also do that, but I'm just going to hold his nose on. Once you get the first few stitches in, honestly, it's not so bad. So I'm just going to put the first stitch in like that, above that middle rock or whatever. In the middle of his mouth anyway. And then just go over a little bit, and you can go right back through from the inside of the shaft and into his nose at the bottom. I liked sewing on with no pins too, because of the fact that it gives it a really natural look. Like it's not, nobody is perfect either, right? So it also gives that in the stuffy, especially when we're crocheting something with our hands. Pins are awesome though if you really absolutely need them. I think I have used them like once so far, but honestly you don't really need them. There's a lot of things that people say you need when you're crocheting, and I don't need them or use them. So really all you need is your hook and your yarn, your scissors and your needles. The stitch markers, even, those are just a plus. I was using yarn for the longest time. Those are handy though too. I do like that instead of cutting a little piece of yarn, so they're better. That part I like. But other than that, I'm pretty old school with how I do my stuff. So again, I'm just going carefully along the edge of the nose at the bottom, going into the bottom stitch of it. He's gonna look so cute with Santa, my Santa Claus penis. Santa needed a friend. And again, he's on here too. Well, the main penis is on here, and then you just have to find the costume, which they're both should be in the same playlist. And of course, if you're still into it, I have some Halloweenies on here too, plus a mushroom penis and an alien. So there's quite a few penises on here to be made. A cactus or cactus as well. So that's fastened off inside. So next we'll sew on the ball and then get on to the next pieces. Almost done, guys. He's looking so cute so far. And when we come back, his eye will be fixed. Awesome. All right. As you can see, his eye is moved over now. He looks much better. Now I'm going to show you how to sew this ball on. I pre-stuffed it. Make sure your balls are evenly stuffed. And it makes it easy. Like I said, we did that last row, decrease row, so that it makes it easier to sew this together and enclose the ball. So just go in and out, weave the needle through like this in between every other stitch. So after it's closed up, you might just have to sew where there's any openings, but it's not very noticeable either because this is going to be facing the penis shaft, so you're not going to see any of this anyway, but I like to keep it closed up a bit. Awesome, looking good. So now you just have to go on the bottom here. See, I lined up the magic circle, like the middle here, with the eyeball basically. Just making sure, there we go. So just like that. So you can do the same thing over here. So I'm just going to line up my needle here, and we're going right into the bottom just like that with the needle. And then you're just going to sew in a few times into the ball and the shaft just so that it's nice and secure. You can even sew the two balls together in the middle if you want. I left mine separated this time, but sometimes I sew them if I want them to be touching, I guess. Only other way to put it. But these seem to sit nicely all on their own without sewing them together. So just in and out a few times with the needle like this. You can either leave it just sew in as much as you want. You can leave them loose, or if you want them a bit tighter, put in more stitches. So to fasten off, you can just literally go through like that into the ball. So just pull tight enough and don't go too close to the ball so you don't snip it. And then that way the yarn will just get lost in there afterward. Awesome. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to start this scarf. It's really repetitive and easy, so just grab your whatever color you want to use for your scarf. I matched it up with the hat trim color that I used. So I'm going to do a chain of 3. And then you're going to grab the chain, do one more chain, go in the second from the hook, and go in the back of the bump of the chain only and do a half double crochet. And you're going to do that across the chain, so you'll have 3 stitches across. And I did leave that little piece long enough, the little piece of yarn that's hanging, so that I can just blend it in with the rest of the little trim that I made. Alright, so that row is done. You're going to do a chain before you turn. And then you're going to go in the back loops only and do a half double crochet. So it gives it that nice scarf look. And again, it's a half double crochet in each stitch, if I didn't say that part already. So do a chain and turn, and you're going to do the same thing, except you want to go into the other side, if I can get it in. So just like that. And you're going to repeat this until you're done your scarf. Make it as long as you'd like. Just make sure it's long enough. I just kept measuring it around the penis, because even before it's stuffed you can tell. See, it's nice and long too. So now I'm just going to show you how to cut your pieces. So you're just gonna, you can cut a longer piece of yarn than this if you'd like, because you're going to need more for the fringe. But I'm just going to show you a demonstration of how I did it. It's nice and easy. So just grab your needle. So you're just going to grab your scarf and you're going to go right into the edge. You just go like this. So just find the other end of it afterward, and then you're going to tie it. I double knotted it. And I made them all fairly the same length at first, and then just trimmed them after if I needed to. So again, just double knot it like this. And then you can just group them together. Those ones are already trimmed, so I just got to trim that one to match. Awesome. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to make the hat. So you're going to do a chain of 4. If you can hear that, my cat's digging in Legos. He's a psycho. He had to be in here while I did my tutorial. Oh my god. So I did the chain of 4 and I joined it at the end with a slip stitch, and I did a chain, and I'm going to do 10 half double crochet into the circle. Make sure that you do crochet over the little piece of yarn. Awesome, so we're at the beginning of that row. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in the same stitch. And I'm going to put a stitch marker here. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochet in the same stitch again, and you want to do that all the way around. So I'm just going to do a few stitches here. So again, 2 half double crochet in the same stitch all the way around. Alright, so we're at the end of that row. For the next row, you're going to start with a half double crochet in that stitch, and then 2 half double crochet in the same stitch for the next one. So just repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, and then 1 half double crochet, and it'll be the last row for this part before we turn to do the side of the hat. So 1, 2, 1 half double crochet. Alright, so we're done the top of the hat. So you're going to skip a stitch and do a slip stitch. Then you can flip it over, and then that way that'll be in the inside, and do a chain before starting, and then you're going to go in the top of the stitch only and do a half double crochet, and you want to go in the top of the stitch only all the way around, because this is going to start to form the side of the hat. So 1 half double crochet in each stitch in the top of the stitch only, and we're actually going to repeat this for 7 rows total, but I'm going to stop. I'm going to show you what to do before I go on after this row, because I'm going to move my stitch marker in a second. So just do this row, and then I'll be back to show you how to start the next one before you do the rest of the rows for the side. Awesome. Alright, so for this one only, after we move, I'll move the stitch marker first. Got tongue tied there. So you want to have the stitch marker on the side now, so that you know where the beginning of the row is, at least for this. You don't have to move it down if you don't want to, and if you do want to, just move yours. All these rows are going to be the same. So get the stitch marker in between, and then you can join. You want to join this together first, and then you can work in the round for the rest of them. So after this row, you just need 6 more rows. So do that, and then do a chain. Now you're going to work into the whole stitch. So you're going to do a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and you're going to do 6 more rows in total, including this one. So you'll have 7 in total with your first row. And again, you can now just work in the round after joining the first one. See, it'll look like that after. Awesome. Alright guys, we're getting ready to do the brim. So just skip a stitch over, and then you can turn the hat like this. And then do a chain. So you're going to go in the top of this, or the side of the stitches only. We want to make it a brim, right? So you want it to stick out to the side now. So you're going to do a half double crochet in the first side of the stitch. and then a half double crochet in the next one. So much easier once you get going. So you want to do 2 in the same stitch here. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet, 1, and then 2 in the same stitch. And you want to repeat this all the way around the side of the hat. And it will give it a nice brim look because we're going in the side of the stitches here, or top, whatever. And again, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Whether you just like the videos, subscribe, watch them, or if you're following me on my socials and talking to me there, I appreciate that too. It's all appreciated. Awesome. Just keep going along the edge like that and we're good. Alright guys, so this row you're gonna put the stitch marker right there. And do make sure guys, if you are interested in checking out my Patreon or doing a one-time donation, it is really appreciated, especially at this time of year. Well, any time of the year we're saving up for our dreams, so it's appreciated whether you sign up $3 a month or a one-time donation, and I will send you something. So after putting in the stitch marker, you're going to join that row with a slip stitch and then do a chain. And you want to do 2 half double crochet in the same stitch at the beginning of the row. And then you're going to do a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So it's 2 in the same stitch, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 in the same stitch again. And there's only one more row after this, and we're just going to join them this time. And you're going right into the stitches this time too. Makes it a lot easier to go all the way around. So 2 in the first stitch, half double crochet, and then 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Awesome, and just keep going to the beginning of the row. Alright, so this is the last row of the brim. So just join it with a slip stitch, and then do a chain. And then this row is going to be a half double crochet in each stitch. So just keep going around to the beginning of that, and we're almost done, and I'll show you how to do the red part of the hat, and then we will just be doing the finishing touches on the snowman and all that to finish him up. Awesome. Alright, so the hat is done. I just did a slip stitch right there to where I finished off to join the row, and I left a long enough tail because I'm going to sew the hat on to the snowman after. If you just want, you can leave yours so that it comes off, but I want mine sewn on with stuffing in the hat. So this is the strip I made to sew onto the hat. It's a chain of 40. I'm just going to show you how to start it and then how to sew it on. So here's a little chain just to do a demonstration, but that is a chain of 40 that you'll have to do. So this is, I'm just turning the chain over, doing one more chain, going in the second from the hook, and I'm going in the back of the chain only in the little bump. And you're going to do single crochet for this in each stitch all the way down the chain. And it gives it that nice little coloring on the hat. So you're just going to keep going with that until you are done your chain of 40. So you can just, if you don't want to pin this on, it's easy to sew, hold and sew, especially after you start going. I'm just going to hide the little piece of yarn underneath too here. So I'm going to sew on both sides of this piece too, and because I'm sewing the hat to the piece, I'm just going to go in and out through the front and back, or through the front and the inside of the hat. So just hold this onto your brim, or above the brim. And I am going to go in and out close enough beside each other. I also got to fix that. There's a tiny little weird piece of yarn knotted onto it. Just love when that happens. It's making it a bit harder to sew. But I am going to get that through. Just love when this happens. Luckily, it's an easy fix. Alright, and we're gonna just keep going along the edge, like I said. You can go along the edge of the brim first and get it on there. And then you're gonna sew also along the top as well. So you want to sew on the bottom and the top of this red piece. So like that, and then also up here. So I'm just gonna show you after finishing this up here. See, it's all sewn nicely, top and bottom. So I'm just gonna turn the hat inside out and sew on the inside here. Awesome. So after that's tucked in, we're going to sew the hat on first before stuffing. And again, you can pin yours on. I'm just going to hold mine on. And I'm going to put some stuffing in the hat first after I do this. But I'm going to just put, I want to sew along the inside edge of the hat so that the brim is free, I guess you could say. So you just got to thread, you have to pull the yarn through a bit so that it's actually sitting in the right spot. So I'm going to sew this part onto the stuffy. My cat just had to casually leave. He's been in here the entire time bothering me, and he's finally decided that he's leaving. He's nuts. So I'm just going to put enough stuffing in there to keep its form on his head too. You don't really have to overstuff it. It's just to, you know, because I mean most of these are going to be for display. It's not like a kid's going to be playing with them, so it's makes it a little bit easier to just lightly stuff it. Unless your child's like mine and just doesn't care and grabs them. Most kids are just not going to be playing with these. But it just goes to show also they really don't care what they're playing with. My daughter's only 6, so she thinks that anything's hers still, and that's no exception with my crochet items. She just doesn't care. And proudly will grab them and play with them. She just likes when I make stuff, I guess, which is also cute. So I'm gonna just line this up. It's the same size basically almost as the top of the head, so it makes it easier. Again, pin it on if you need to, but I'm just gonna get the first few stitches on here and then just keep going. So I'll show you how to start it, and then we'll be on to the next part after this. So you just want to get the needle in to the top of his head in the right spot too. There we go. So it's fairly easy to follow too along the stitches on the top of his head. So just go close enough in and out through the brim just by the red here, as you can see. And just keep going along the top, just like that, and his hat will be on, if you're sewing it on. If not, skip to the next. Alright, so I did go around a bit more with my needle. I made sure that this guy's hat was on there the way I wanted. Looking good. So I'm just going to bury the yarn into his hat now. Just like this. And you're going to pull on it. Don't cut too close to his hat. And it's all done. Awesome. So now I'll show you how to start this off and then how to finish. Stick my needle here. So you want to stuff up the penis first. Also, just put enough in there to start sewing the bottom on, because you don't want to overstuff it and see the stuffing through the stitches. So I'm gonna just put enough in here to start, and you'll actually see that I do add a bit more stuffing after I start too, so you can feel if you need it or not. I see some people just overstuff their things and it's just not good. So just get that on there. And you're just going to go through the sides in and out with the needle, just like this, close enough together so that you don't have any gaps. And after you get a few more stitches on, you can tell if you do actually need more stuffing or not. Awesome. So just keep going now. I'm just got enough I'm satisfied with my stuffing now, so I'm just going to keep going till I'm at the beginning of the row. And then I'll show you how to fasten this off and then how to put the scarf on. All right, so we're at the beginning of the row. You can go right through into the middle circle. Go over with your needle a bit. There we go. And then you can go right back through like this. Awesome. So for the scarf, after I snip this, I did sew it on in the front a little so it doesn't just undo, and I didn't want to tie it, so he's so cute. So alternatively, you could probably just tie yours, but I'm gonna show you how I sewed mine on in the front. So I just went like this. So I just have this little piece of red yarn here. I'm gonna grab it. So I'm just going to hold the two pieces here together, actually, where I want to sew them together. You can probably even sew it in the back a little if you want to, but this is staying on just like this. So I'm just going through the inside, or in the back of the stitches on the front part, and right into the bottom part of the scarf, because nobody's going to see that. So just sew it in a few times here. I'm even going to sew in the other part a little bit too, but I'm going to put them down here so I can knot them. So I got that one done. Now I'm going to grab the other one. You could alternatively probably just sew the ends in, but I'm going to just knot it because nobody's going to see it, and I know for a fact it's not going to come undone. So just pull it through like that, close to the close enough to the other one so that you can tie them up. So double knot. Awesome. So you also want to cut that short enough too, but not too short. Don't snip your penis or balls. Might hurt. Awesome. He's all done. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone has an awesome holiday season. And again, if you have any requests, please let me know. Like and follow me everywhere. Subscribe. If you want to check out Patreon or do a one-time donation, I appreciate that too. He's adorable. Here, let's zoom out a bit. Yay, awesome job, guys. Woohoo!